What's going on, fam? This Chris Rod World. I'm coming to you with another one, Chris Rod Media. Check this out.
To get back Xavier Worthy Sunday in a big game against the Baltimore Ravens. Worthy went down early in the season, third play of the season, friendly fire with Travis Kelce, back in practice at full yesterday. And if he's listed in full on Wednesday, that tells you that he is tracking to play on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs offense could use more explosives, and it looks like they'll have that on Sunday in the form of Xavier Worthy.
All right, Shefty, that feels critical as we look ahead to this matchup between these two superstar quarterbacks. And the history here is impossible to ignore. Lamar Jackson 1-5 against Mahomes in his career. And you see the numbers when they have met. Mahomes averaging nearly 3 touchdown passes per game on a 17% better completion percentage. Here are both quarterbacks ahead of the showdown.
Yeah, I think for us, we got to start faster. I think every game we've kind of said that we haven't really got to do that. And we were moving the ball early in the game last week, but we're settling with field goals. And when you play teams that are really good and have dynamic quarterbacks like the Ravens do, you got to turn those into touchdowns.
I don't really care about what happened in the past. You know, I be mad about the situation. Don't get me wrong when it happens, but we got to get ready for Chiefs. We can't dwell on old history. We got to worry about what's going on now.
Okay, so the quarterbacks are ready to go, Dan. Both teams at 1-2, so the loser obviously falls to 1-3. It feels to me like this game is much more important to one team than the other. Which team do you think needs it?
It's Kansas City. It's a must-win for Kansas City. Staring at 1-3, also the Chargers, who have beaten them, have 3 divisional wins, and the Chargers are staring 7-0 in the face. The Chargers play at the Commanders, or at the Giants. They're going to win that game. Then they play the Commanders. We'll see if they have Jaden Daniels or not. Then they're playing at Miami, who's struggling to figure out a way to get a win. Obviously, the Colts matchup is going to be a big one. So if you're the Chiefs and if they lose this game, we're having a realistic conversation for the first time ever under Patrick. Is like, are they going to be out of the playoffs? That's how much this game matters to them. Not only they got to play better, but they have to win this football game to stay in the conversation.
I disagree. I think the pressure is more on the Baltimore Ravens, not because, to your point, the situation for the Chiefs isn't harder than the road for the Ravens to get there. But at the same time, the Chiefs are who we think they are. They're down their 1-2 option for the majority of the season. Any other team would be like, 0-3 makes sense if you lose your 1-2 receiver. The other point is the Baltimore Ravens, for the losses they had, they should have won both games. And on top of that, if you say, all right, who is the better team between the Chiefs and the Ravens? You're going to say the Ravens. So if the Ravens drop this game again, there's serious questions about and why they're not winning these games that we feel like they should.
I think the noise gets louder, but when he brought it up with the division. You look at who's in the AFC North. It's the Bengals, it's the Steelers, it's the Browns. The noise is going to get loud around the Ravens, especially because defensively they're not playing very well at all. But you look at the division and the landscape of how you get into the playoffs, you can still sit back and take a breath because their offense is still playing well. It's like take care of the football in crucial situations, but they're still operating very well. Like they'll have more time to figure out. The Chiefs don't. You look at their schedule; they got to play the Lions, Commanders, the Jaguars, Buffalo, Broncos twice, Colts, Chargers again. Yeah. That's where it's a real conversation. The first time ever 1-3 under Patrick.
You can only fall so far back if you're Kansas City. I think the divisions do matter to the conversation here. If you're the Ravens, you fall to 1-3. You could look at your division and be like, we still could win this division at 10-7. Where the 10-7 won't get the Chiefs into the playoffs, I think, in their division.
Yeah, I think that digging yourself out of a hole from a Chiefs standpoint is much bigger of a climb than the Ravens. And I hate to bring this up because I know this guy's not known for his big brain thoughts, but Rob Gronkowski, week 1, said they were punched in the mouth after that, and they might not know who they are, and I think we're seeing that right now. So shout out Gronk for the big brain thought.
Is that what you think is happening with Kansas City? Like, basically, what I hear Hawk saying is they're playing without Rashee Rice, they're playing without Xavier Worthy. Any team would not look like themselves when they plug those 2 guys back in, and Shefty makes it sound like Worthy comes back this week. Does that offense get cooking again?
I think it can, but I also think if you look at the Ravens' defense, they're bottom half in a lot of statistical categories because of who they've played in the 2 of the last 3 games.
Right.
They're a lot better.
Detroit.
Yeah, they're a lot better than people are giving them credit for. I like the Ravens in this game. I think their offense is just more consistent, better at getting more explosives. Yeah. Having Xavier is great, but I think that one piece is not going to change.
I also think Baltimore defensively is built to play against the Chiefs offensively. Baltimore's got 5 first-round picks in their secondary. They were built defensively to beat the Bengals and the Chiefs, to defend the pass. That's why they're struggling in part against teams that run the football. Now, Madubuike matters a ton. Their defensive tackle of Baltimore is a big deal. But I just think if you're the Chiefs, and you get Xavier Worthy back. And this is an offense right now that is average at best. It's a bottom 3 or 4 offense running the football. If you take away Patrick Scrambles, you have to go win this game, because I understand Xavier coming back matters and Rashee Rice coming back matter. They're not Jerry Rice and John Taylor, though. It's not going to totally revitalize and reshape the face of their offense. And so while I understand that the Ravens are a more talented football team, the Chiefs falling to 1-3 and consistently playing average football this year, that would be alarming.
I understand what you're saying, and maybe those guys aren't Jerry Rice and John Taylor, but the quarterback is Joe Montana, and the coach is Bill Walsh. I wouldn't bet against them. And there's a couple of different ways to look at it with the Chiefs. They were one weird play away from beating the Eagles. If Kelsey holds on to that ball, that's an entirely different game. They lose a one-score game to an obviously very good Chargers team in a game that's being played in Brazil and under weird circumstances. I don't know. I'm not willing to say I'm as worried about them as...
All right, fam. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Who y'all think gonna win this Sunday? The Ravens or the Chiefs? Because either one can't lose. Either one can't lose. Both are 1-2. So you feel me? It's gonna be more hard for the Ravens and the Chiefs, whichever one loses. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, subscribe. Shall be back with another one.